Hi folks, really hoping that this works. I am recording on my laptop today, so that's another new thing to try, and had to mess about with the volume quite a bit. So fingers crossed you can hear me okay and there's no echo and it won't cut out on me and all that kind of nonsense. So, hi, welcome to the Wholly Irregular ECY Shedcast. Episode, what are we on now? 21, I think. Excuse me, sorry. This week's tea is the cranberry and pomegranate black tea from the True Tea Company in Harrogate. It's really nice. It's like Earl Grey or Lady Grey, but kind of like more fruity, and yeah, more like you can taste the black tea quite a lot, but you can taste the fruit quite a lot, but there isn't anything else in it, so there's no other flavours kind of in there. So yeah, I'll just pop that back there. Anyway, how are we all? Hope you're good. I've got a bit more time to spare today. It's already dark outside, so I knew I was going to have to film in the kitchen, under the kitchen spotlights either way. So rather than try and squeeze it in daylight, I've left it to the end of the day, so it doesn't matter either way. So this week, another really busy week at ECY Shed Quarters. As always, I know I actually say that every single week, but it is true. So let's crack straight on, shall we? This week has seen a big update go live, which happened today, just this morning. I mentioned this on the last episode, actually, didn't I? Because newsletter subscribers and Facebook groupers get exclusive early access to some of our bigger updates, and I think I mentioned that last time. But this is now live publicly on the website for everybody to enjoy, and it is Rosedale 4-ply. So let me just move that actually. Rosedale 4-ply is, let's take a look, 80% superwash extra fine merino, 15% nylon, and 5% gold stellina sparkle. That's what makes it special. And the one good thing about the spotlights in here is that you can really see that sparkle. At least I hope you can. You can certainly can on the screen. It looks amazing. So yeah, and that comes in 100-gram skeins, which have 400 meters to them, and it comes in 20-gram mini skeins as well, which are about 80 meters. And I've done both. So there are a lot of colours. Let's dive straight in. Take a look. This one is Rubbing Egg, and the one next to it, which I've just picked up, is Algae, which is a lovely rich green. We have Faded Bloom, that's actually what I'm wearing. Same yarn, same colourway, different dye lot, obviously. I just love the sparkle, it's so lovely. A Murder of Crows, which I don't do all that often, but it's so fun to do. So this is variegated greys with these splashes of red. Need to get used to the backward facing camera, it's really weird. We have Falling Leaves, which is this gorgeous gold. I hope you can see the colours okay on this screen. I'm not sure about the quality of the camera, the forward facing camera. So I really hope you can see that, because on my screen it looks a little bit washed out. So we'll have to see once this is published, and if you let me know what it's like on your screens as well, that'd be really useful. If it's crap, I won't do it again. I'll just use my phone. But it's quite useful if I can use my laptop and then publish straight to YouTube. It cuts out quite a lot of the processing time and faff. This is Thunder. We have a special, Festive Fun. Which is a seasonal special, obviously. Charcoal. Compost. We have Pennine Mist. We have Ash. Heliotrope. Black Magic Rose. I mean, look at the gold sparkle on that. It's amazing. I love it. Ivy. Bark. Cedar. Again, being a dark colour, you can really see that sparkle. Whispering Grass. Murmuration. This is one I don't do all that often, but it does look really cool. Stone Chat. She's just gorgeous with that gold sparkle. Meadow Rue, which is what I'm wearing here, although it's a different yarn. And we have Driftwood. So there we go. Those are the 100-gram skeins. Some of the mini colours have sold out already. But I can show you what I have got. I have Coal. I mean, who doesn't want a black sparkly mini? We have Marigold. We have Woodland. One of my favourite greens is this one. We have Larch. Festive Green. And I've done 3 blues. So, there we go. The darkest one is Tarn. This one is Larkspur, I think. Yes. And this one is Icebreaker. So they're lovely together. They weren't actually really designed to go together, but we just wanted to get some blues in there. So yeah, they did just kind of fell together. So that is Rosedale 4-ply, and those are the colours. Now this is a lovely soft yarn. I get a lot of questions from people asking if it's soft enough for next to skin wear, which is understandable because the sparkle, it kind of sticks out, if you can see that. And it looks like it could be itchy in the way that like mohair and stuff like that can be. But I honestly can't feel it. I can't feel it at all. This is completely soft and smooth and squidgy and lovely. So it's very soft. And yeah, shall I show you how it knits up next? So you've seen it in my sleeves. The next thing that I have is this. Is that the right way around? I'm not sure if that's the right way around, although if I can't tell, you probably can't tell either, so maybe it doesn't actually matter. So this one has charcoal in Rosedale 4-ply, and I've put that alongside Brimham High Twist and Hayton 4-ply as well. So 3 very different yarns there, but playing really nicely together. This is a great one actually, because being monochrome, you can wear it with anything. And it's long enough to do 2 loops if it's cold enough. And yeah, so the pattern for this is called Pennycuick by Justina, aka Letty's Knits. So I'm sure you all know her by now. And Pennycuick, it's a place in Scotland. It's a Scottish place name. It's spelt Pennicuik. I think I've got that right. So yeah, Pennycuick, and it's lovely and squidgy. So that's that one. What else have we got? I've got a hat somewhere as well, but I couldn't find it. I think it's probably in a coat pocket somewhere, because it's been out on so many dog walks with me. But I've got a hat that I made in this, and it's called Seriform, and it's by David O'Kelly, if you're looking him up. So yeah, 4-ply is great for hats. I think 4-ply is very underrated for hats, but a nice light 4-ply hat, it squishes in your pocket, just enough to keep the wind off and a bit of rain out. Yeah, definitely underrated, I would say. And then this one, I can't remember the pattern name, so we will have to put that in the, oh, is it called Volcano, something like that. There we go. I made this last year and again ended up wearing it loads. So this is Rosedale 4-ply at the top, and it fades into Silverdale 4-ply. So we've got gold sparkle at the top and silver sparkle at the bottom. And that's a lovely, big, cosy thing. That's a real, oh, you know, when it's frosty outside, you've got your coat on. Lovely. I enjoyed knitting it actually, because I mean, it is simple really, but I really enjoyed just seeing the colours all fading into each other. So that was algae as well actually. You can see how it's changed a little bit with the different dye lots. So yeah, it's quite tricky to match it. That is my never-ending quest. And then I've actually just brought something else down as well. Again, wear this a lot. So I've done the Festive Fun. That's this year's batch. And I thought you might like to see how that knits up, or at least might knit up, because obviously each batch is going to be different. The yarn on this is Napier 4-ply. So it's our other sparkle. Ooh, I hope the screen doesn't go off. There we go. Yep, there we go. That's the one. So this is approximately what it could look like knitted up. So hopefully you can see that. This is the Fuss Free Festival Shawl by Louise Tilbrook, one of my favourite patterns. And this is 2 skeins of Festive Fun, which I didn't alternate, and you can vaguely tell, but I don't care. So I wear this a lot over winter. I like it because it's a little bit festive, but not overtly festive. It's sort of like, there's a little bit of a hint of Christmas to it, but not too much. So yeah, there are, I don't know how many skeins there are left of that, but I'm not going to be doing many more. So if you fancy that in 4-ply, you might want to grab it. If I can get more Nate B before the end of November, then I might do some more, but otherwise I won't. The only thing that I will say is that I have done a batch of it on the Chunky as well, Pendle Chunky. So that will be coming soon. So for like a chunky hat or something like that, you know, a festive chunky hat, that'd be lovely. So yeah, that's that lot. Shall we do colour combinations next? Because there's a few other bits to tell you about after that, but let's do this. It's very important. Let's start with festive fun. So we have festive fun, and I've got a couple of greens that go well with it. So we've got ivy, we've got algae possibly. I mean, I think that works. But also cedar as well. There we go. I think that works really well. And then actually I didn't do any full-size skeins in a red. I did do some minis. They've sold out. However, what am I doing? Let's put those away. You could go a little bit quirky and do something like that. That's the Black Magic Rose again, which basically just goes with everything. And then if you wanted minis, so for example, you could make socks and do contrast coloured toes, maybe heels as well, and cuffs. There's the larch, which is a really good match for the green. Or you could go for gold and go for marigold. That'd be nice. Or you could go totally different and go for coal. That would look really cool. Yeah, I like that. I really like that idea actually, now I've said it. So do we have any other greens? No, that's it. So that's festive. So just sticking with greens, if I show you all of them together. So we have cedar, algae, ivy. These are the sort of proper greens. But then also I've done robin egg, which is this sort of robin egg, light dusky greyish tealy turquoisey kind of thing. So those are the greens. We have quite a few pinks. Let's take a look at the pinks. There's Black Magic Rose, of course, but also I've brought its sisters in for this one. So we have Heliotrope and where's she gone? Meadow Rue. So they would make an amazing fade. And that monochrome shawl that I showed you before, Pennycuick, uses 4 colours. So you could totally make that with like these 3 plus, oh, let's have a look. You could go for contrast. That's compost. A bit more of a different pink for full-on pinkness. Cedar. That would be really lovely. You could go goldish. I like that. Falling leaves. Or purple with some thunder. Or neutral. You could go for like bark. Or what about, where has it gone? Whispering grass. That would be absolutely gorgeous. So those are the pinks. Oh, and faded blue, of course. So those are the pinks. Purple, it's on its own. Let's put that with the pinks. Then we have, oh, I don't know what that counts as. Should we do like randoms? Let's do randoms. They're both blues. So I guess randoms would be Stone Chat, Falling Leaves. There's a combination, isn't it? Oh, that to me is like vintage Christmas or vintage autumn kind of thing. I think it's the Stone Chat. And then A Murder of Crows. A Murder of Crows actually would look really cool with Faded Bloom. Just picking out, I mean, it's red there, but I think it picks it out quite well. Or you could do A Murder of Crows with good old Black Magic Rose. Then a couple of blues. So we have Murmuration and Pennine Mist. Let's just take a look at those with the... Hang on. So we've got those plus the minis in blues, but also how cool does that look with the blues? That's the coal. Could just slot that in there. So there we go. Blues, greys, black. It's pretty unbeatable, isn't it? So that's that. Let's just put those away there. And then I've actually done quite a lot of neutrals this time. It's difficult really because it's very tempting to want to do all the colours, and then the neutrals get abandoned or forgotten. And I actually really like the neutrals. I think they're very valuable for showing off the other colours. And they're classy as well. So we've got Compost, Bark, Driftwood. I mean, that they would make a gorgeous shawl together, or a jumper, or whatever you like, really. Whispering Grass. So you can see here as well that Whispering Grass is that bit more creamy compared to Driftwood. Driftwood is more of a kind of beige. So it's quite useful to see those two together because they look similar when you look at them separately, but they are different when you look at them together. And then a couple of greys, charcoal and ash. So like, those together, those together. Let's have a look at, should we pick out like an autumn palette? That'd be nice, wouldn't it? Compost. Got to start with Compost, Falling Leaves. What about, let's put Stone Chat back in there as well. I'm gonna have to hold these up, aren't I? Would you put green in there as well? Ivy. Oh, that's really nice. And then you could, just thinking, Bark. That could take a bit of, we could take a bit of something light. I think I'd go for the Whispering Grass for that bit of warmth. Although let's just, Avalanche. See how it looks with Driftwood. That works just as well actually, doesn't it? But actually Driftwood is slightly browner. I might stick with that. And then you could top it off with the good old classic Black Magic Rose. So I hope you can see those colours nicely because they're just lovely together. That's such a lovely autumn palette. Kind of like a bit vintage. Not overtly seasonal, but just a hint of it. Let's have a look. What have we got here? Faded Bloom and Falling Leaves. I often put these two together. I really love them together. I mean, it's sort of berry and gold, isn't it? So it's a classic combination. Oh, here's one. Robin Egg with Cedar. I think they go really nicely together and there's a good amount of contrast there as well. Pennine Mist with Bark. Or how about Pennine Mist? Oh, yes. Pennine Mist with compost. Just, yeah, that is right on the mark. That you could add in driftwood. That's a good palette, that. And then what about either heliotrope or meadow rue? So those are lovely together. What about robin egg and bark? That's, to my mind, that's a classic combination as well. Or robin egg and what about a bit of contrast? You have to tell me whether you like this or not. I think that looks pretty cool. Stone chat and robin egg. Again, that to me screams vintage. I don't know why. I love stone chat. I really love it, but particularly with that gold sparkle. Because the thing is about dyeing yarn with gold sparkle in it is that for me it adds that extra dimension of thinking about what colours I'm doing and how they're going to interact with the gold. So things like meadow rue, because I love pink and gold together, to me, I think that looks amazing. And I must admit, I don't know why, but I think I actually prefer the gold sparkle to the silver sparkle. I don't know why. I think maybe because the gold's got some warmth to it. I say that though, I do wear quite a lot of silver sparkle, and I love the silver in Nate B. That's Lurex, whereas this is Stellina. So it's spun quite differently. But the gold sparkle really adds something for me. You know, I resisted sparkly yarns, honestly, for years. I was like, no, I can't do sparkles. And yeah, that went out the window, didn't it? I absolutely love them now. So, yeah, I hope that helps. I didn't actually get a chance to photograph. Oh, Bark and Thunder. I didn't get a chance to photograph, sorry, Bark and Whispering Grass. Oh, the warmth of the Whispering Grass along with the purple. Just, yeah, lovely. And actually, Whispering Grass goes really well, again, with Black Magic Rose and Ivy. Those two are lovely together. In fact, how about, sorry, I'm going off on one now, aren't I? Ivy and Thunder, or Ivy and Black Magic Rose. I don't think, if that was any lighter, this would wash it out. But there's just enough saturation in that to stand up to the Black Magic Rose. But you could also do Ivy and Heliotrope. They're similarly saturated, but go really nicely together. Or you could go Ivy and Meadow Rue. That's quite summery, isn't it? It reminds me of like hedgerows. Or is that a bit strong? Oh no, I think that works. Ivy and Faded Bloom. And I'll just bring up the heliotrope again so you can compare. The heliotrope is just that bit more lilac-y. So I think that probably works better. Although you could do, let's take a look at these together. Algae and Faded Bloom. Is the algae just slightly too strong, maybe? Not sure. I think this holds up pretty well, you know, next to that. Anyway, what was I saying? I haven't had chance to photograph the colour combinations of these. So what I've done instead was produce collages, and they are on our Flickr if you want to take a look. If you look up Eden Cottage Yarns, and we'll put a link in the blurb and the show notes below. So yeah, sorry about that. I didn't get a chance to do the colour combinations. I ran out of time on the day that I did all the photography, And since then, we've had blazing sunshine, which has been absolutely lovely, but it is no use whatsoever for photography, unfortunately. So I just haven't had a chance to do that. And to be honest, at this point, I need to be on with other stuff. Once it's all up on the website and it's actually selling, so stock's fluctuating, and we've got so much else on as well, that I kind of needed to just do the collages instead and then just crack on with other things. So yeah, that's why there's no colour combos on that one. But I hope the collages that I've done are helpful anyway, and I can always photograph them again in future. So let's take a look at what else we have. So in progress, we have a Keswick double knit update in progress. So I should be finished with that fairly soon, next few working days. And the reason for this, I mentioned it last time, I think, pretty sure I did, is that Natalie Warner, aka Natalie in Stitches, has released a gorgeous pattern for a pair of leg warmers in this yarn, in this very colourway, which again is the wonderful Meadow Rue, which we have here. Here's some I prepared earlier. So it is one of my favourite pinks, it has to be said. This is the only skein left in stock. We have other colours still in stock, but this is why I'm dyeing a nice big fat update of more of this, because it's absolutely lush, and hopefully you can see that lovely and soft. It's 85% superwash merino and 15% Donegal nep, which are these little flecks. Again, you can't feel those. They just kind of sit there looking pretty. So that's in progress, Keswick double knit. I've got Pendle Chunky, which I have finished dyeing up and is in the process of being twisted and labelled. So I was actually going to grab some of the festive fun to show you. It's still on the heated air though, and I have forgotten, so you'll have to just wait. And then this is a very sneaky peek of something that's in progress. You might recognise that little badge. That is from Ellen Sheck, who makes these beautiful project bags. Now, we have been collaborating with Ellen at Christmas for the past few years. I'm not sure if this will be our third or even fourth, maybe. Third. I want to say third, but I could be wrong. This is our one of our years of doing this, another year of doing this. And this year, instead of it being a surprise box, I decided that firstly, we're pretty skin and it's a lot to invest in. So there was that part of the decision making, but also I kind of feel like everybody's doing them now, and that, I mean, that's what happens, that's the way it goes. But I just kind of feel like it just felt like time to move away from the surprise boxes. Now, I know that there will be some people disappointed about that, and I am sorry. But you never know, they might come back again in future. But for this year, I just felt like I didn't want to do a surprise box. So what we're doing is the project bags, and I'm still dyeing yarn to match. There will be full-size skeins and mini skeins to complement them, and the yarn matches this. I have dyed it up. It's all on the crammed onto the heated air as we speak, and it is gorgeous. I cannot wait to show you like the whole package, and check out inside. That fabric, the snowflakes glow in the dark. I would demonstrate, but I think that would probably fail. So you'll have to just trust me that they glow in the dark. So yeah, and these little details are sort of slightly metallic. And the thing is, Ellen always does such a good job. Like the quality of her sewing, like I wouldn't even know where to start with this. So it just blows me away that she makes these really. And she makes a large quantity for us as well, which is no small task. So the upshot is that they will be available ASAP because I suddenly realised that time is marching on, unfortunately. Um, so they'll be ready ASAP. I'm hoping to get photos tomorrow. I'm filming this on Thursday night. So tomorrow, Friday, it looks like the weather's going to be cloudy, so good for photography. The yarn will be dry, so what I'll do is get Debbie to twist up just a few skeins for the pictures before she then does the rest, and we'll get them up as soon as possible. So yeah, this is a very sneaky peek. The only people that have seen these until now are our lovely Facebook groupers, because I just couldn't resist sharing them. I was going to keep it a bit secret, but nah. Um, and you'll be able to buy just the project bag, just the yarn, or both. So yeah, obviously I hope you'll want both, and I hope you'll love both. But if you don't, or it's for a more limited budget or anything like that, then hopefully it means we've accommodated you a bit better on that, rather than expecting everybody to just buy the whole lot. So that's exciting, actually. So I've told you what's in progress. There's so much other stuff. I've got Coniston fingering in progress as well. That's the merino mohair singles. We've got the other tweed yarns as well. We've got the Aran and the 4-ply. Titus double knit as well. I want it to be ready for January, but that does really mean that we need to be on with it now. So that's in progress as well. Shall I show you what projects I've got on my needles? Because we all like to share what we're making, don't we? So this week's project is called Kendall, as in Kendall Mint, as in Kendall Mint Cake, by Anna Elliott. Hopefully you can see that amazing texture. It's so squidgy. So it's a slip stitch texture. I don't know if you can hear that. You can hear it squidge. It's a slip stitch texture, but it also has pearls in it to make it into like moss stitch. And I'm using compost and faded bloom. In fact, this is Boland double knit, but if you want to see the colours, because I do often produce these colours because I love them. Where's the compost? It's these two. And actually I've done the same colours on the chunky as well. Yeah, I really love both of these colours. So that's them together working beautifully. So that's Boland double knit, and that's 100% superwash Blueface Leicester. And I have mentioned this before, but basically the Mint collection is a collection of 3 hats by Anna Elliott, which we produced a few years ago, and it was originally done in Whitfell double knit, which was the 100% baby alpaca, and that's been long since discontinued. So I'm refreshing this collection in Boland double knit, which I'm really enjoying. So yeah, that's what's on my needles at the moment. I have also whipped up, I still need to cut the ends off this actually, a double knit version of the Lucky Dip Yarnling Cowl. There you go. Oh, there we go. So this is a double knit version. Now, the only thing is I had to block this really hard to stretch it widthways. It was fairly tubular when it was hot off the needles. So I'm actually going to try this again at a different circumference and see what it's like. I did it on 4.5mm needles, but to be honest, I think that's blocked out to a gauge that you would probably more often get on 5mm needles. It's lovely though, it's very drapey and quite cosy. So yeah, I am pleased with it and I will wear this one, but I think for the purposes of the pattern, I want to cast on more stitches, which then will affect the depth of the rows or rounds, the stripes. So I still want to rejig this. Luckily, it's a very quick knit. And this uses 10 double knit yarnlings, plus the contrast colour, or you maybe could call that the main colour, which is Milburn double knit, and I've used compost for this one because I thought it was a good opportunity to give it a chance to shine and do its thing. So that's hot off the needles, but there will be another one. I might whip that up this coming weekend, hopefully. I will next tell you what I'm reading, what's on my reading list this week, because I posted about this on Twitter and got a really good response. Turns out it's quite a popular book. I'm late to the party, as always. I am reading The Watchmaker of Filigree Street by Natasha Pulley. I'm only one chapter in, so I can't comment too much on it, but I'm quite hooked already, which is a really good sign for me because it does take quite a bit to draw me in. So that's really good. I have to be honest, I was just attracted by the cover. I'm an absolute sucker for a gorgeous cover even, and colour. And, oh, that smell. It smells divine. So that's what's on this week's reading list. It depends how much time I get. I'm a fast reader, but it depends how much time I get to actually read. I say get. It depends how much time I allow myself to read. And once I've got the second one of these on the needles, I will probably want to crack on. So that will be competing with my reading time this weekend. So we'll see how that goes. But anyway, that's that. Now, let me just check. Oh, there's some big thing that I just haven't mentioned yet. Oh, what have I forgotten? I just can't quite remember. What's that over there? Is that a shawl? Is that a Stephen West? I think that might be Stephen West shawl. Oh yes. Oh, how could I forget? Well, I think it's time it got a bit of its moment in the spotlight, don't you? Ta-da! This, I really hope that you can see that. Welcome to my blocked and finished shawlography. I mean, I don't really know what else to say about it, to be honest. It's done, it's blocked, it's finished. It's pretty incredible. I'm proud of it. I really enjoyed the process of making this. I really, really loved the mystery element of it. Just knitting each row, each line as it comes, and with no idea what it's going to look like. I love the variety in it. I love the way the colours work together. I did modify the border. So you can see here I've got thin stripes in between my thicker stripes, which is not in the original pattern. And I also didn't use the 5th colour in the border because quite honestly I thought it would look garish, and I thought it didn't need it, and I'm really glad I made that decision. Excuse me. So what I really wanted with this was for the top of each crisscross to meld into a long stripe. So what I did was on each, so if you're on the border or you want to sort of modify yours similarly, or even just to give you ideas, what I did was on each block where you do you're coming along, sorry, I'm pointing where you can't even see. You come in, this is your right side, so you come in along and you slip 2 at this end, then you turn and knit 2 together at that end. That's when you use your thin stripe colour. So it was the last row of each colour block, last two rows, I guess. So yeah, once I got my head around it, and sort of, yeah, it was really easy to do. And I carried the colour all the way up the edge. That's my edge. I didn't use the suggested technique for weaving the ends in because I have to be honest, I don't really like it, and that's just personal preference. I would rather spend 2 hours weaving all the ends in. Genuinely, I would. That's what I did. It's just one of those things, isn't it? You just have to set aside the time, put a podcast on, put the TV on, whatever, and just sit and do them like you would any other element of the project. So yeah, I didn't actually mind weaving all the ends in. It didn't bother me. I'm so pleased with my colours. As you probably noticed, I wear dark pink a lot. My hair's dark pink. It's not really. It's not. I mean, it's not intentional at all that that's kind of the main colour. It just so happens. In fact, it just so happens that on this section, I accidentally switched colours A and C, because that was colour B, wasn't it? Which meant that the plum was in front rather than the chestnut. And aren't I glad that I did? Because I think it just works so well. So yeah, dead chuffed with that. I mean, it is enormous. I don't think it's the biggest shawl I own, but it's enormous. But it's not actually too bad. Like I could imagine wearing that with a jacket. It's not actually outrageously big, and bulky. Because you don't want that much bulk, do you, around your neck? If it's absolutely freezing, then it is quite cozy. But you want to be able to move as well, don't you? Well, I do anyway. So yeah, there we go. So yeah, that's my shawlography. And Claire's finished hers as well. Let me just check my time. Yep, we're all good. Claire's finished hers as well. And hers is all blues. And then for her border, she has gone straight from the crisscross into a bobble border, which when I say it doesn't like sound unusual, but it looks really cool. I absolutely love it. So she's made an absolutely fantastic decision there. And Debbie is still knitting. She is just about to start the brioche. And I think she's undecided about her border yet as well, but hers looks amazing as well. So Claire's is all in different shades of blues. What have I got with me? These sort of blues, like dark, medium, and light. And then she's got 2 creams. She has Whispering Grass, and then she's got Sand, which I don't have any here, although Falling Leaves isn't a million miles off. So she's got this sort of blues and creams palette. It looks amazing. And then Debbie's is different again. She's got a nice light colour as her framing colour, like I do. But for her other colours, she's got like turquoise, and she's got thunder. In fact, I think she's got waterfall rather than robin egg, which is a proper turquoise. So it's richer than robin egg, and then she's got thunder. I think one of hers is larkspur as well, and another similar one that I've forgotten, but they're all kind of like really fresh, summery, ocean, sea spray kind of colours. And it just looks amazing. It's so cool. So yeah, that's our Shawlography news. And that's it. That's us done for this week, I think. Do you know, I'm really, really taken by a lot of the Stephen West projects now that I've done this. It's got me out of my comfort zone, I think. It's probably safe to say that. It's made me sort of think, when I see his patterns, it's made me think, that in our colours. And I can visualise better, now that I've done this, I can visualise better how the really snazzy kind of eye-catching things would look, but in different palettes. So it's been quite an eye-opener, I have to admit. And I'm so glad that I've done it. And I've just spotted another, oh my God, Black Magic Rose and Falling Leaves. Why didn't I see that earlier? Oh yes. You could add a mini as well in Marigold. Oh, how about that? Oh, beautiful. Sorry, just got completely distracted. I think that probably means it's time to go. So I shall leave it there. It's always really hard to know how to end these videos, you know. It's quite hard opening them, but I kind of feel like I've got that down. But closing out, it's kind of like, and I've run out of things to say and talk about, and I don't really know what else to end with. So if it's a bit awkward, that's why. Because it's just like, what do I say now? So yeah, ideally, I don't waffle on about how much I'm waffling on. So I will hopefully see you next week. I will have tons more news, undoubtedly. And thank you very, very much for watching. I hope this is all recorded successfully and that the quality's okay, and the light's okay, and the sound and everything. We shall find out. Thank you for watching. See you next week.